How's it going, everybody? Today I thought I'd just make a quick video on Nintendo console modding, specifically the Nintendo Switch, the Wii U, and the Nintendo 3DS. The first console I'll be talking about is the Nintendo Switch, since my Wii U and my 3DS are both charging. So the cool thing about Nintendo Switch modding is, well, all of it, but the coolest thing, in my opinion, is just how customizable the once very, very locked down system becomes. Once I turn it on, you'll see what I mean. I've got this really cool custom theme from NX Themes called Game Time, I believe. It looks really nice, and it's even better on the home screen. You've got this little transparent bar on the side. It looks really good. But of course, that's not everything that there is to console modding, especially with the Nintendo Switch. It's not just a couple of themes that you can install. It's a lot more. It's also homebrew. We've got the homebrew launcher, which mounts itself into the screenshots page on the Nintendo Switch. I believe there's a way to change that. I just decided to keep it default. It's fine though. You don't lose your screenshot page. You can still get to it by holding down R while booting into the screenshots folder or the homebrew menu, I guess. And I'll get into holding R a little bit more later. But right now you can see I got all these good homebrew apps installed. I'll go over each one of them, like the important ones at least. What the heck? Alright, there we go. Okay, so I guess let's just go over each one of these. We've got Game Card Installer, which I found was a lot easier to use to install the NSPs from my game cards instead of downloading them from an external server or dumping the game cards, then installing the NSPs. With Game Card Installer, I don't have a game card in right now, but if there is a game card in, it'll show the title right there, and you'll be able to do NAND install or SD card install. I have like nothing installed on my NAND, but it's really nice because it means that you won't have to carry around any physical media anymore, which is always a good thing. And if you have a big SD card like I do, I've got a 256 gig SD card in here, then that's really nice. Then you got Gold Leaf, which is kind of a all-in-one type tool. It's basically just a file explorer, but you're also able to browse the internet apparently, and manage user accounts, and even dump Amiibo, which I haven't done much of any of that. I haven't found a use for much in Gold Leaf, but there are a lot of uses. Oh my gosh, what just happened? What just happened? Okay, then you got the Homebrew App Store, and the Homebrew App Store is really nice because you can essentially, it's in the name, you can get a lot of homebrew apps from here. Like, it's like the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store, but for your Switch and for homebrew apps, which is really cool. There's a lot here. You can get RetroArch, you can get all kinds of stuff. You can even update your Hecate, which I'll go over what Hecate is in a minute. Then we have JKSV, which is the save manager that I currently use because it supports dumping and writing to device saves, which I use for Animal Crossing New Horizons because I'm a hacky boy and I decided to hack my I decided to hack my Animal Crossing save because I was bored with Animal Crossing. I've got another Switch that I have a completely vanilla save of Animal Crossing on, so don't worry. Then up next, we have NX Themes Installer, which is a really nice little app. What it essentially is, it allows you to download themes and install those themes. And I'm not going to do that, but I will show y'all how to install a theme in just a moment. So if we quit out of that, then our next app is Themeser NX, or Themeser NX. And it's basically just a big library of, like, fan-made Nintendo Switch themes, which I find really cool, and it's probably my most used app. Let's go over how to install a theme with the Themeser or Themeser or Themeser or whatever. Basically, what you gotta do is you just gotta go in here and you gotta click the big green install button, which with Themeser is actually safe, unlike those big green install buttons you'll see on web pages. You don't want to do download only because that'll just download it, then you have to go into NX Themes Installer to install it, and I'm too lazy to do that, so oh my gosh, this is really fidgety. Oh my. Okay, you'll just install it, and whoops. This is pretty boring, so I'll just cut to whenever it's installed. Alright, we got the theme installed, so let's just go into our menu and let's see what it looks like. This might take a bit, so alright, our theme is installed and it's looking pretty nice. Yep, I like the look of that. Let's just go back into the Homebrew launcher and talk about some more things. Next up, we have 90DNS testing utility. This is the testing utility for an app called 90DNS that essentially blocks all of Nintendo's official servers from connecting at all to your Switch, which is really good because if you have any modifications, it is a huge risk that Nintendo might ban your console from online interactions whatsoever, and trust me, you don't want that. So here it'll just test if it's able to connect to any Nintendo servers, and as you can see, all of the official Nintendo servers were blocked. So that means I'm safe from getting any kind of ban. Next up we have Breeze, which is a game cheating tool that I've been meaning to get around to using, but I haven't yet. We also have all-in-one Switch Updater, which I've not had to use yet because Nintendo hasn't updated anything big, and nothing I use has been updated very large, but it basically just allows you to update your custom firmware, your payloads, and all that nice stuff. Not any games or anything, but all your payloads and everything. Then we have Bean NX Stick Checker, which it just checks the X and Y values of your sticks. It's not really that interesting. Up next, we have BOTW Unexplored, which I don't know what does. I think it has something to do with showing you what and what you don't have unlocked. But I'm not gonna get into it because I don't have a Breath of the Wild save on this Switch right now. We have Checkpoint up next, which is another save manager like JKSV, but I don't use it very much because it's just not as powerful as JKSV. Then we have Daybreak, which installs the firmware updates, I believe, because you can't do that directly from an all-in-one Switch Updater. You have to download them and install them with Daybreak. Then we have Dino Run, which is just the Chrome offline game Dino Run. Then we have Edison SE, which actually I don't remember what this does either. Oh yeah, this is just another save manager / cheating tool. Nothing too big. Next up, after that, we have Super Modesty Loader, which I've not used yet. Then we have Sys Clock Manager, which allows you to overclock your system, but I haven't really felt the need to do that. Then we have the Tinfoil Installer, which I should probably actually delete, but it's fine. So we'll just exit out of that. Now, sometimes a homebrew app is going to tell you you need to run inside of not app overflow, but basically it needs to mount into the app instead of running through the applet. It's called applet mode when you're just running in the screenshots applet, but if you hold down R while going to run any officially licensed Nintendo title, you'll run in, I don't remember what it's called, app something mode, and this will allow you to get as much performance and as much capability out of these apps as possible. But enough about that. Next up, we have tinfoil, and well, if you don't know what tinfoil is, I probably actually shouldn't be showing you the screen because I could get into a little bit of legal trouble. But basically what tinfoil is it was originally developed by a group of friends, I believe, who were trying to make a multi-tool for Switch modding. It started out as a file explorer and a game manager, save manager, all kinds of stuff. It basically just replaced like a few Nintendo things that weren't very powerful and made them pretty powerful. But they made it. They didn't want this to happen, by the way. But when they started allowing like cloud downloads and stuff, they accidentally enabled the biggest form of piracy on the Switch like ever. And the biggest way that people do piracy on the Switch is through a Discord server called Technic, which supplies keys to their private repository of every Switch game on the eShop, I believe. And it allows you to install it directly from in the app. I'll try to kind of only show you a little bit because I don't want to show you guys too much and possibly get in trouble with Nintendo. So let me just... I'm booting into tinfoil right now. It's refreshing, loading Technic. Oh! Well, I can't show you anything actually. I can just show you basic stuff because my Technic needs verification, so I'll have to verify that, but not right now. Basically, there's just this file browser, and that's just what it is. There's shared saves that you can download from the save project that allow you to mount saves to the games that you have. There's payloads. You can download the payloads, which are the payloads, which I'll explain later. There's the homebrew store, which is a new thing that Technic came out with, but I'm not sure that it's working right, at least not for me, because currently the only thing that it has is DBI, and that's all it's had for 2 months now. Queue, that's just when you go to install games from the internet, that'll just queue them for installing if you have multiple going at a time. Tickets, these are your tickets. They could be fake tickets or they could be real tickets. It doesn't really matter though. You can dump title keys, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, basically that's about it. Oh, incognito mode, I should probably go over that. It's not like Chrome's incognito mode. It's basically, it allows you to fudge your serial numbers for everything in your system, which could possibly allow you to play online and regain online capabilities, but if you are banned. But it is very dangerous, as you could completely break something in an instant, and it's not very recoverable. So let's just not talk about that. I don't use it because I don't feel the need to, because I block Nintendo servers anyway, and I don't really want to play online with this thing anyway. But I guess let's go over Hecate and what it is. This is Hecate, the bootloader, the custom bootloader for the Nintendo Switch. I don't really know the best way to describe it, but it's basically where you can launch all of your different firmwares. Like you could launch if you did install Linux or Android, you can launch those from here. They'd be in the launch category, but I don't have any of that. I just have my sysMMC, my MUMMC, and my stock sysMMC right here. More configs, I don't really know what that's for. You got the payloads, which has lockpick RCM, which allows you to dump product and title and dev keys. You've got Tegra Explorer, which is like a very powerful file explorer, which allows you to completely wipe everything off your Switch, which I had to do a couple times whenever I first started modding this thing because I followed instructions wrong, or I didn't read them, or I just made a mistake. But luckily, they were recoverable mistakes, and I had backed up everything, so I was able to get everything back. And then you got Fuzzy.bin. Fuzzy, it's a weird name, I know, but I don't know exactly why it's named this, but Fuzzy Jelly was the biggest breakthrough in unlocking the bootloader that everybody found, or anybody found. It allowed you to basically just unlock the bootloader for the Switch and install anything. All you had to do was enter factory recovery mode with a little jig, which I have right here. This is called the RCM jig, or the... Actually, no, I think it's only called the RCM jig. But basically, it just... You take off your Joy-Con, it slides into the right Joy-Con rail, and it shorts 2 pins that had a flaw. There was a flaw with shorting those 2 pins in particular that would get to the Tegra GPU in here and allow it to run unsigned code, which, big oversight. Honestly, I don't even know how they or why they would have tested to see if that would even happen. So, I'm not trying to hate on anybody at Nintendo. They tried their best, but us hackers, we got through. The other things that you can do with Hecate is you can go into Tools and you can back up the eMMC and restore the eMMC, which, I'm trying to explain this in the best way I can. Basically, you can back up the image on your SD card to your SD card. Then you've also got partitioning the SD card, which I currently have mine partitioned like this. That red is the MUMMC, which I've not actually had to use, and I'm probably going to remove pretty soon because I don't have any use for it. And the green is the Fuzzy Jelly. So, yeah. Then we've also got console info, which I don't really know what much of this does because I haven't had a lot of reasons to go into this. But I guess it's pretty self-explanatory. View I patch or L patches and dump the unpatched and patched versions of boot ROM. Makes sense. Or dump every single key with lockpick RCM. You can view info about the eMMC or the microSD card and their partition list. Additionally, you can read benchmark read speeds. Battery, you can view battery and battery charger related info. Additionally, you can dump battery chargers registers. Then you've also got HW fuses and K fuses. View and dump the cached fuses and K fuses. Fuses contain info about the SOC/SKU and K fuses and HDCP keys. You can also see info about DRAM, screen, and touch panel. Then you've got options, which it allows you to auto boot into any payload that you choose. You can automatically shut down after a while. You can set the backlight brightness. You can update reboot to payload. You can auto NOGC, whatever that means, and you can set a boot time delay. But that's pretty much everything interesting in here. I guess let's go back in Fuzzy and see what else we can do. Some other interesting things that I want to touch on are things that I haven't currently set up. I don't have them set up. I don't know when I'll set them up, but there is a great homebrew app called Mission Control that allows you to connect any third-party controller, like an Xbox controller or PlayStation controller, to your Switch. I've been meaning to get around to setting that up, but there was an update that broke something, and I didn't want to break anything, so I decided not to do that. Yeah. I guess let's just look at my game library. I'm gonna flex on all the games I have. Yeah. Anyway, that's probably not that interesting. I think that probably wraps up our Nintendo Switch segment. Let's get into the 3DS. Alright, guys, I'm not gonna lie. The 3DS is probably or at least was, probably my favorite console to mod. It was just such a blast. I started modding it after a just absolutely horrible week, and the weekend just was awesome. I'm not gonna go into too much detail of that because it's kind of never mind. None of your business. So yeah, I guess let's just talk about things that you can do with a modded 3DS. First and foremost, homebrew apps. Lots and lots of homebrew apps. Like a lot. This isn't even all of them. This is just the ones I have on the home screen. Let's just touch over the coolest ones. You've got an enemy, which is the 3DS theme manager, which allows you to install cool themes, like this one, which actually I believe is an official Nintendo theme that I got from H Shop. You've got the homebrew launcher, which is just the homebrew launcher. You've got Luma Locale Changer, which allows you to change specific location settings about titles, which I've had to use a lot because I have a European 3DS, European Creeper 2DS XL, which I got in Australia. We have H Shop, which is a really cool app. It's basically, if you don't know, there's a website that is called H Shop for 3DS that allows you to download preserved games. If you know what I mean, preserved games directly from them. And originally you had to do it in FBI, which is a file manager, and it allows you to scan QR codes to download games or software from over the internet. But they made that into its own front end for the 3DS, which is really neat. Then we have Fast Play Coin, which just allows you to get max play coins, as you can see. Play coins on the 3DS, if you didn't know, they were a sort of currency that was used in some games to get you like certain items that you could only get in said games, and so that's pretty cool. Then you have Twilight Menu ++, which is basically just, it allows you to boot into a modified version of the DSi home menu from your 3DS, which, if you didn't know, is not normally possible. You can't even boot into an unmodified version of the DSi menu on 3DS. You could only boot directly from this menu, which got boring, I guess, so this was made. I'm sure there's other uses for it, I just don't personally use it a lot. You have MCU Bricker, which, this is really nice. Let me show you something. RGB light. That's its only use. Then you have Leaf Edit, which is a neat New Leaf save editor, which works with a variety of popular community-made mods, too, which is really cool. RD3DS stands for Redirect 3DS. It basically allows you to redirect inputs that are made on your PC with a Bluetooth or USB controller and redirect them as inputs to this, which I used once and I absolutely hated it because there was like 4 seconds of input lag, and it was really sketchy to install and stuff, but my computer doesn't have a virus and I lived, I guess, so it's fine. Then we have Checkpoint, which is actually extremely useful on the 3DS, unlike on the Nintendo Switch. Well, I'm sure on the Nintendo Switch it's probably useful and all, but I don't personally find it very good. Basically, it allows you to back up and restore save files for all your games, which is really cool. And yeah. Then you have Mod Moon, which I tried to set up once, but don't tell anybody, but I was supposed to be doing school, and I was setting up mods for Super Smash Bros. Instead. Then we have this app, which I don't remember what it's called. It has something to do with installing custom badges, which, if you didn't know, badges on the 3DS were little things that you can get from this app called Nintendo Badge Arcade or something. It was an official Nintendo app that unlocked a whole crap ton of functionality on your 3DS that wasn't already installed, which is kind of stupid. Then you have Town Manager, and New Leaf Save Editor, which I didn't barely use at all. Then you have 3DS Quick Reboot, which just reboots the 3DS quickly, but it's not actually very quick. Then you have the Save Data Transfer tool, which is an actual official Nintendo app. I just have only used it like 3 times for the 3 physical games I have. Basically, it was created by Nintendo to allow you to take the saves from physical copies of games and move those saves over to digital copies of those games, which is really nice. I didn't have to lose my Mario Maker 3DS or my Ocarina of Time 3D or my Link Between Worlds save file, which is really nice. Then you have Third Tube, which is just, it uses the YouTube API to run YouTube on the 3DS, because why not? Actually, I'll tell you why not. It's in like 360p, that's why not. Then you just have all these games, pretty standard stuff. I just tried to have it as nostalgic as possible, tried to have it in a layout like I had whenever I first got this thing, what, 4 or 5 years ago at this point? I guess it was 4 years ago, but whenever I first got this console, this is about what I had the home screen as, just with way less games, so it was pretty empty. But yeah, there's not a whole lot else that I can talk about other than Luma 3DS and God Mode, which I guess I will actually talk about. First up, we have God Mode 9, which for some reason is really, really dim, so I had to turn off my light there. But basically, it's a file explorer that allows you to have like full access to everything. It's also a script manager, and it's just kind of an all-in-one tool. That's why it's called God Mode. It allows you to just do all kinds of stuff that I like really don't have the time to touch on in this video, but I will touch on the coolest parts. You can dump the CIA files, which are the executable or downloadable files for games. You can, that's actually like the biggest thing. I don't really have a lot else to say about this, and I don't want to make the video too long, so I will link the official GitHub repo for this, which has a lot of information on it, and yeah. Next up, we have the Luma 3DS customization menu, which Luma 3DS is the custom firmware that is most commonly used. This menu just allows you to basically just change various things. You can change the screen brightness, you can change the splash. Oh, that's why my splash wasn't appearing. There we go. Now I should actually have a splash screen. You can make it where your 3DS won't turn on without putting in a pin, which would be a combination of these and these buttons. And you can even overclock the CPU a little. You can enable loading external firms and modules. You can enable game patching, which is really cool because that allows you to enable ROM hacking. You can show NAND or user string in system settings, which is a good thing to have turned on if you know what you're doing with it. And you can show the GBA boot screen in patched AGB_firm, which I don't actually know what that is. Anyway, I think that's it, pretty much, for the 3DS. Let's move on to the Wii U. Finally on our list, we have the Nintendo Wii U. A commercial failure, yes, but still a very fun console. It was also pretty fun to mess around with and mod, even though I had to start over multiple times because I didn't read instructions right. A recurring theme. But basically, if you don't know what the Wii U is, I don't blame you. It wasn't a very popular console. Nintendo's worst selling console other than the Virtual Boy, or Visual Boy, or Virtual Boy. I don't remember which one of those it is. But basically, the console was, think of it as a Wii with a screen that you can use detached from the TV. I don't have a TV in here, but just imagine there's a TV where the clock is. The TV would be displaying, actually, the TV would be displaying something like this. And you'd have this. Basically, you have two screens. One that you hold in your hands, and one on the wall. And, that makes for some pretty interesting and fun gameplay at times. The first thing I'll be talking about is this app right here. Nusply. It is not an official Nintendo application, as it allows you to do a lot of piracy. And, that's not exactly good. I don't condone it. I condone game preservation. And with the eShop going down very soon... Oh, uh-oh. Oh, wait, I forgot. I don't have this connected to the internet. With the eShop for the 3DS and the Wii U going down, it's good to see that we do have repositories of every game released for them, which Nusply doesn't connect to. It connects directly to Nintendo's re-download servers, but that's fine. We have all these standard apps. I don't actually have any homebrew apps other than Nusply on the home menu. So we have just all these games and stuff. In Mii Maker, that is where the real stuff happens, because it's gonna boot into, give it a minute, the homebrew launcher. This is where you boot all of your homebrew stuff if you're running on a copy of the Tiramisu custom firmware, then you're gonna have to go into the homebrew launcher to launch any of these. There's a way to get the homebrew launcher as an official app on, or not an official app, but an app on your home screen, but I haven't set that up. And Tiramisu is kind of outdated at this point. There's a new custom firmware called Aroma that basically is built upon Tiramisu, gives you all the functionalities of Tiramisu, but is a lot more powerful and allows easy booting of homebrew apps. Allows easy loading of homebrew apps directly from the home menu, which is really nice. I haven't used this thing in like a really long time, but I'll go over. Actually, I don't really know what to go over, but I guess I'll go over the WUP installer, or the WUP installer. It allows you to install games in the form of a WUP folder, and that's cool. It's a public title installer, and it has a nice interface. And the plugin loader is the last one I remember messing with. It basically allows you to load these things called plugins that are not permanent, but they're temporary edits to the menu or certain things about the system. And the one I just enabled is a dark mode menu, which I personally think looks pretty nice. Looks very official. And it makes me sad that the Wii U didn't have any themes or anything like the 3DS did. It has even less themes than the Nintendo Switch, which has 2 themes. And that's just kind of sad. The Wii U, it doesn't have a lot going for it, even when modded. It is better modded because you are able to do things like run homebrew and run unsigned apps and preserve. But really, there's not a whole lot that it's useful for, other than the Wii menu. The Wii U... Okay, well, I can't actually boot into it because I don't have a TV connected to it right now, but the Wii U, it has a Wii built into it. It's able to run every single Wii game, and you're even able to boot into the original Wii menu. And that is really cool. Because you can have a modded Wii and a modded Wii U in the same exact form factor, same exact box. This one box, you can play HD titles and old 480p titles from your childhood It's just absolutely amazing. But other than that, I guess I could talk about the bootloader, but it's not very interesting, and it's kind of fiddly to get into, and I think I broke something, so I'm not able to actually get into it without running a bunch of other stuff through the homebrew launcher, and I don't really feel like doing that tonight, so I guess that's it for this video. I will end off on a pretty important note, though. If you have any console at all that is able to be modded, which is pretty much any game console at all, do not, and I mean do not, ever follow a video tutorial. They are often very outdated by the time they're uploaded. Never, ever follow a video tutorial. I will have links to hacks.guide, which is a website that hosts a bunch of hacking guides for different consoles. And I will also leave links to other resources that you should use, because they are good, and just don't follow video tutorials. I will probably at some point make a tutorial on not modding, but doing certain things with an already modded console. The Nintendo Switch, the Wii U, and maybe the 3DS at some point. Yeah, I guess that's all I gotta say, really. Thanks for watching. If you did make it this far in the video, then you're a real one, and I salute you. If you did make it this far in the video, and you're not just letting it YouTube autoplay videos while you sleep, then consider liking and subscribing, because it would help out just an absolute ton, just so much. This channel is really small right now. I haven't put a whole ton of effort into it, but I'm gonna try to put more effort into it and make more long form and entertaining videos for y'all, because I'm passionate about making videos on things that I love to do. My next video that I plan on doing for this channel is probably something to do with the 3DS or the Nintendo Switch, because they're just great consoles. But I might even buy a capture card and do like gameplay videos of old Wii games just for the lulz. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, dude. Or dudette. Just thanks for watching. I never know how to end videos.